Welcome to the very first live episode of Cognitive Cuisine. That was our new intro, courtesy of the mad scientist himself, Cole Johnson. I am W.I.Z.E, W.I.Z.E Otero, and my co-host is,
Yayoi Komiyama of Brain to Belly.
and soon to be, I'll start on Monday.
Yes, yes,
Coming
yes,
soon. Her
yes,
her pod her podcast is coming out soon. I'll start on Monday. We're really excited. She's actually doing her first interview this week, right?
yes, I am. I'm so excited.
Yes, yes. So yeah, Yoi's gonna be the first graduate from the Built Different podcast to launch accelerator. So I'm excited because she gave me an opportunity to help her build her podcast. So how you doing today?
I am okay. Yes.
Okay, I guess okay, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, no, I just had some technical issues this morning
Yes, we
and
did. We did. We worked
yes,
through it though. We finally because last week we didn't get to record because of the tough technical difficulties, and we finally figured it out. We
yes.
got it resolved. Yeah, Yoi's here. We are live for the first time ever on Cognitive Cuisine.
Woohoo.
So we're excited. And today's topic, we're going to be discussing stress, right? Because a lot of people blame stress for everything that's going on, right? But sometimes when they avoid certain situations, that's that's what kinds of builds the stress.
Yes. That is so true.
So, all right. So let's jump right into it, right? So, stress isn't our enemy. Avoiding it, avoiding all the little things that we have going on. Like it could be avoiding a bill that you have to pay, or avoiding a conversation you need to have with someone. Like there might be a situation where you and this person need to really have this conversation, but you just keep avoiding it, and it's causing you way more stress than it needs to.
That is so true. Yeah, avoidance. Like you can't just put a blindfold on it and pretend it doesn't exist because it basically creates more stress in you when you start doing that because it becomes chronic. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're already stressed out over everything else, and by avoiding certain situations, you're making it even worse. You're just adding more to your stress levels.
Yes.
So maybe try to avoid situations like that.
Yeah. I think it's that whole awareness piece, like just be aware of it and sometimes you have to face it, face on, just look at it head on. I know for me it was well, even like weight. Weight is one of those things, right? Um, sometimes you don't want to face the fact that you're gaining weight
Yeah,
and or that your eating is out of control. And a lot of us pretend that it doesn't exist until we try to put on that pair of jeans or put on that dress or something, piece of clothing. Maybe it was your winter coat from last winter, and if it's too tight, that means something.
so yeah, no, like a lot of this, yeah, a lot of the again, a lot of the stress that we put upon ourselves can be avoided, right? These are common avoidance things, like when you want to avoid a hard conversation, avoid a hard decision that you need to make. Wait, when it comes to health, the weight, like these are things that these are pressures that we put on ourselves, right? Because I know personally with the weight struggle, like we've seen my transformation from a year ago to now,
Yeah.
and so yeah, no, these are things that these are conversations that need to be had, right? These are topics that need to be discussed because these are things people struggle with every day,
Yeah.
daily, and so that's why this was a really pretty good topic for us to discuss on our first live episode.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely, because it's so easy to just pretend it doesn't exist, the problem doesn't exist.
Yeah,
So I mean, I'd say it's human nature to try to ignore it and try to feel like it's not there. But it's like that whole thing that if um like dust, right? If you pretend that dust doesn't exist, eventually, and you stop cleaning, or you create these big dust bunnies, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I always go to dust, but but it's like the easiest thing to, analogy because you go to some place and, you know, I remember, gosh, I think it was one of the buildings that we worked in. And like somebody said to me, "Oh, this building, they have great the cleaning crew is really great here." And I'm like, "Huh?" I didn't even notice this until this person told me. And she goes, "Yeah, look at the corners. There aren't any dust anywhere." And I'm like, "Wow, you're right." And then after she said that, this was years ago. This older woman pointed that out to me. So I would go to different buildings and I would look in the corners and I would notice dust in some corners. I'm like, "Oh yeah, they're slacking here."
But but see, that's another thing where expectations is another
Yeah.
thing that might cause unexpected stress or stress you out, or like there's kind of like what you're saying. Like now, when you go out to places, you expect like not to see dust in the corner
Yeah.
because of that, what that lady said. But now when you see it, you're like, oh, this person is lacking. So yeah, no, it is. It's expectations can really add also to people's stress levels because even like podcasting for example,
Mhm.
um, if you're a beginner podcaster, right? Why are you going to put high expectations on yourself, right? You're not Joe Rogan. You're not any of these big time podcasters. Just be yourself. Like, just don't put that extra expectations on yourself to stress you out because it's not going to happen. You're not going to be Joe Rogan overnight. It took Joe Rogan 10 plus years to get to where Joe Rogan is. Like, he had to start somewhere.
Yes.
He wasn't just Joe. Yes, he was celebrity Joe Rogan. He was Fear Factor Joe Rogan, whatever. But he wasn't who he is now, right? It took him time to build up the audience and his following to the point where he is the guy in podcasting. He is the one making the big monies.
Yep. I think with anything, right? You know, all the mentors, like even Tony Robbins, Joseph McClendon, everyone says, and they always say, what was it? Imperfect action, right? That you have to take action. And it's really, instead of anticipating what's going to happen, I have to be perfect for everything, which is going to really stress you out.
Yeah.
Like, and, even if it's just publishing something or even doing an interview like this, right? You can't have everything perfect anyway.
No.
That's never going to happen. So you might as well just do it the way you can so that at least you get your foot in the door, you get your feet wet, that you start somewhere because, and that kind of goes to, I'll start on Monday, but it's really like, really, if you don't do anything, it's not going to start at all.
Yeah.
And you're
No.
just going to be caught in paralysis.
Yeah. No. You have to. You have to really. If you wait for perfection, it's just not gonna. It's not gonna work, right? With anything you do, it's just gonna be more excuses. It's just gonna be, oh no, it's not right yet, so I'm not gonna do it. That's just you. That's just a defense mechanism. That's just yourself trying to protect you from yourself. Like it's taking this challenge as something that's gonna harm you instead of doing you well, and that's not the case. Like you're just making yourself you're just doing something. You're just doing something that's making you uncomfortable, right? So
Yep.
just do it. Don't wait till you feel like, oh, I'm ready to do it now. No, do it now. Like
Yeah.
if
And
people ask me like, what does it take to start a launch podcast? Press and record.
yeah. And it's true. It's with anything because the more you think, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, there are more things you have to think about. You might as well just do it and then learn from that, where you might have already ticked off a lot of the check boxes that, you wanted to tick off, right?
Hmm.
And then if you look at it later, you might say, oh, I was only lacking this one thing, or these two things were not there, but that's okay. I got most of it done, right?
Yeah,
So I think it's really about, if you don't do it, you're never going to know.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna know. You're not. And had I had, even with me, right, had I not launched my podcast, like none of the stuff that is happening today would have happened. Like this conversation, this podcast wouldn't be launched. Any of the stuff that I've created wouldn't have been done. But it, again, it took me just not waiting, right? Not just diving in. Like I was probably stressing myself out more than I had to, right? Like just thinking about, oh man, just the thoughts, just oh, who's gonna want to listen to me? What am I going to talk about? I'm not a doctor, or I don't have PhD, and I don't have MD, and I don't have all these titles. Like people are not going to want to know nothing from me. They're not going to want to learn from me. I can't offer them anything that's beneficial. And this is all in my head, right? This is just me saying all this stuff to myself so that I wouldn't launch the podcast, so I wouldn't do whatever I wanted to do. But finally, I was like, no, record, release it, and then it went from there. From there, once I realized it didn't have to be perfect, I was like, all right, screw it. Let's just do it now. Let's just get into it. And again, with anything, the only way you're going to improve with anything is by continuously doing it.
Right.
And just repeating and just getting better at it. And so so when you add that extra stress on yourself by waiting on it being perfect, that's not necessary. Like, because there's nothing that's perfect in this world. There's nothing.
Exactly. And sometimes we look at people and they may be rough around the edges. Let's say, you listen to somebody doing an interview, for instance, and maybe they just had the courage to just do it, right? Whereas, and then you're like, oh, she's a little rough on the edges, but at least she's doing it. Whereas I may be just sitting on the sidelines saying, oh, she's rough, maybe I might be better, but then when are you going to do it to be better?
How do you know if you're going to be better if you're not doing it?
Exactly.
How do you know if you're capable of it? If you're being afraid of doing it, and you're stressing yourself out because you're wanting to do it, right?
Right.
But afraid of whatever it is, nerves, whatever it is that's stopping you. It's like, okay, now you're still adding more stress to yourself, because now you're like, oh, like there's all this debate inside of you, like, oh, should I do it? Should I not do it?
Yeah.
So,
Or
but you know how you avoid it? Just doing it.
yeah. And it just builds and builds in your head when you don't do it. Because then you'll start seeing more things that are going to bother you. Then you'll start creating more of those things. And it's like that whole, let's say I remember when I first bought my first car, right? And it was a certain color. It was like this teal color. This is back in the 90s, okay? It was a teal color, and I was like, then I'd see all these teal color cars after I bought it. Or it's like after you buy,
A car, yeah.
yeah,
Like when I got my whenever I get any certain vehicle, right? Like when I
yeah,
got my Pontiac G6, right? That was like I hadn't seen many Pontiac G6s, right? And then all of a sudden, I'm just seeing Pontiac G6s everywhere.
yep,
I'm like, are you crazy? I wasn't seeing these cars before, but now that I have one and
yes.
I'm driving around in one, I'm seeing them everywhere. I'm like, and I miss my Pontiac G6, by the way. So that's the story for another day. But yeah, no, it's like, okay, I didn't like. Now you see them, you're like, oh man, okay, I see them everywhere. But and the same thing when I switched to my Jeep. It's like now I'm seeing my Jeep everywhere. The one I had everywhere. It's like, okay, you're right. And yes, I used to see Jeeps, but once I was riding in one, I was seeing one much more frequently. It's like once you get aware of something,
Yep.
now you're seeing it everywhere.
Yep, it's so true, and it's just that little bit of that awareness piece, right? And
Hmm.
it's the same with the stress, because if we start worrying and worrying and worrying, it's just going to multiply, right? It's
Yeah,
going to attract more of the worry and the stress. So it's just like, you kind of have to in a good way, put a blinder on.
sometimes.
So Yeah, for the fear, because fear is really what's driving all of this. The fear of rejection is probably the strongest one. That
That's
that
what,
we're
and that's
keep.
why that's
Yeah,
sorry, but that's where a
go
lot of
ahead.
people kind of stop at stuff, right? Because they're like, no, they're gonna reject me, or they don't want that. They don't want to get rejected. They're afraid of
Of
people
course not.
rejecting them. But what they're not realizing is you're already failing because you're not attempting it. The
Yeah,
fact that you're making up excuses to why you're not doing it, right? It's already failure. It's already a failure because here's something you want to attempt, but because you're afraid of what someone else might think, or someone might make fun of you, or whatever it is, now you're afraid to do it, and now you're stressing yourself out more. Like, no, just do it. Like, screw what people think.
yeah,
It's and that's something where a lot of people got to work on is, okay, yeah, other people opinions are just that. They're opinions. It's not, it doesn't validate anything. It doesn't validate who you are. It doesn't, like, someone might think I suck, and then I might have someone else who thinks I'm the best in the
you're
world,
brilliant. Yeah,
right? That's just their opinion.
it's
It- the,
it's yeah,
the opinion that really matters is how you feel about yourself. It's
exactly.
how you feel, like, where you're at. And a lot of us struggle with a lot of this. A lot of us, it's the programming that we have to overcome, so
Yeah,
we can overcome that self-doubt and that fear and whatever else is excuses that are stressing us out, or whatever else reasons that we're using to not do what we want to do.
yeah. Like I just had this thought in my head. Fear of rejection is really your fear of you're basically rejecting yourself.
Hmm.
When you do that, because you're saying, "Oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough." Right? When you when you're the only one that can validate yourself,
Yeah.
because anyone else can say whatever, but it really shouldn't matter what anyone else feels or thinks, because if I don't feel good about myself,
Well, let's
yeah,
correct ourselves. It it matters to them.
it matters to yeah, it matters to them.
let's
That's
not
true.
let's not diminish what matters to
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. We shouldn't let it affect us.
Like,
Like, we shouldn't
so
let,
much.
yeah,
Yeah.
we shouldn't let how people feel about us affect us personally.
Yeah.
Their feelings are their feelings, right? I'm not gonna not validate anyone's feelings because that's how
That's
they
true.
feel,
That's
right?
true.
But
Yes.
I'm saying, if you don't like, they don't like me. They don't like. I'm not everyone's cup of tea.
Me too. I mean, some people,
So what am I going
yeah.
to go sit in the corner because I'm going to sit in the corner and cry because such and such person doesn't tune into my podcast, or they say I sound horrible and I shouldn't be doing this? No, I don't really. I don't. If that's the case, then yeah, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. I've got my own issues that I struggle with. I don't need other people's insecurities on me, right? I don't.
I don't either.
I struggle with my own insecurities, and but that's the thing. We struggle with our own insecurities, and then we allow other people insecurities on top of that.
Yeah.
So, how do we debate? How do we combat that? How do we stop letting other people's insecurities scare us? Right? Like, how do we do that?
I think it's really, asking ourselves, is that really true? Is that really my insecurity, or is that somebody else's? Um, you know, like, am I really not good enough? No, I don't think so. You have to start thinking, like, what have I accomplished? I'm here. I've lived this long, right? There's got to be something good if I've lived this long without too many incidences, right? So, I mean, you have to think like that. You have to think, what have I accomplished? And is what they're saying really true, that I suck, or like my voice is horrible? It may be horrible to that person, but
Yeah,
it might be, perfect for somebody
someone
else.
else's. Yeah,
And you have to find your own audience. And it's like, even with family and friends, of course, I'm going to surround myself with my friends that love me. I'm not going to surround
Mhm.
myself with people that hate me because
Of
why
course.
would I want to be there?
Yeah, why would, 'cause it's toxic.
It is so toxic. And I'm like, and it just makes you feel this small, like you don't
Mhm.
exist. And no one should have to feel that way.
So one of the greatest feelings I got, right, is when I was in Podfest and and my wife went with me, and then she just realized the people that knew me, right, like the people who were saying hi and knowing me, and she's like, people know you. I'm like, uh, I guess I don't know, is but just to but for her to experience it and see it, and then point it out to me, it was like, you're doing something correct. Like there's something being done correctly, that you've gotten people's attention, and they know who you are, and so it was like kind of like, just like, all right,
Yeah.
this is good. This is working. This is working
Yeah.
somewhat.
And, it's nice to have somebody that you care about recognize that, you
Yeah.
know? It's always something, something to be proud of. And it's like when your family, yeah, like family recognizes something you did and they go, oh, okay, a lot of people know this about you. And yeah, it's kind of a cool feeling. You kind of feel like, yeah, I'm kind of a hero, you
It's,
know?
no, yeah, no, it did. It felt good, like,
Yeah.
because yeah, she knows I podcast. She's very supportive of what I do, but for her to see firsthand, right, like
Yeah.
the growth, and for her to see, like, man, you started with nothing, not a clue of at what you was doing. Now look at you now, where there are people reaching out to you, and and people saying hi to you, like, hey, Wize, all this, like, and just the love that people would show me, and that was like, all right,
Yeah.
that was dope. That was like an awesome feeling to have.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. And, it makes it even sweeter because the person that you care about sees it, right? So, yeah, yeah, that's always great.
But
It's like going to your own graduation, and then, you when you go and pick up your diploma and your family's there and saying, woo, 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 right? It's kind of like that feeling.
oh yeah, no, but so one of the things, because we talk about how, like, for me personally, how I sound isn't the way I sound to everyone else.
Exactly.
Everyone hears this deep voice, hears this very white kind of voice, but I don't hear that, right? So at one point I was struggling with myself, because I didn't like how I sound. To me, I didn't sound like everyone. When I say it now, I don't sound like. But when when I go and listen to a recording of myself, I'm like, damn, I do sound good. But now, when I'm hearing myself at this point, or when I first started, I was hearing myself. I was like, I don't feel it. I don't hear it. I don't get it. Why people keep saying I have this radio voice. I don't comprehend. And then when I I have to go back and re-listen to whatever the audio is or whatever video it is, and realize, like, that's me. That's how I sound. I'm like, okay, because again, I don't sound the same to me unless I'm hearing myself back. Like right
Yeah.
now, I don't hear that voice. I don't hear the voice.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I mean, our perception of ourselves and others' perception of ourselves are different. And I think sometimes we don't see what's good about ourselves, especially because we are so hard on ourselves, all of us. And, I might as well bring this in because this month is February and it's Valentine's Day and it's all about love, but it really boils down to the self-love piece
Mhm.
because we don't care enough about ourselves.
No, of course, no, because and that was something, right? Like I've struggled with, right? Is self love, right? Because and there's a difference between loving yourself and obsessing over yourself, like
Oh, yeah.
being narcissistic, and just. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay for you one for you wanting to grow and
Yes,
develop
yes.
and just be a better person. And there was a time where I struggled with that. Like, right, I didn't feel like I don't know if I felt like if I was worthy enough to be that. Like I would put this extra stress on myself about not just not being who I guess other people thought I should be
Yeah.
or whatever it was. Or but it's just these are just struggles we all have. It's just as human beings, as just regular folk, that these are just things that we struggle with from time to time, and it's how we respond and react and just just take how everything just kind of just you have to look at it and you be like, all right, yeah, this isn't. I can't explain it sometimes, but yeah,
It's kind of like growing pains, right?
yeah,
Yeah, because all of us go through periods of time when we're kind of like going around in circles and saying, "Well, I'm not good enough," and and it shows up at all times too. Like, I thought recently, I've gotten through a lot of my issues and I've grown quite a bit, and especially the last year, I felt like I grew a lot. But then sometimes little things come up and and you look back and you realize, oh wow, you look back at like something. I was going through some papers, old papers,
hmm
the other day because I needed to find some things, and then I was going through some old papers and I saw some old journal entries that I had written, and I was like, oh, and I kind of, I was curious, so I was,
what you wrote.
yeah, and I was like, boy, was I a basket case. I was like, "Oh my god, how gullible was I?" I was so naive back then, and this is like, what, 20 years ago? So, of course, if I didn't feel that way, I wouldn't have grown. That means I wouldn't have grown. So, I was like, "Okay, that means," but I was like, "Wow." The fact that, like, I didn't recognize these, certain things back then, I was like, "Damn." If it were me now, I would have been like, "What are you thinking?" I'm reading this and I'm thinking, "What were you thinking back then?"
Well, at that time, you like, listen.
Yeah.
It we didn't have the answers back then, right? Because we didn't have the life
Experience,
experiences, right?
exactly,
And that's the thing. That's people don't realize. Like, listen, yeah, we struggle through things, but that's what life is about. We have to experience these lessons, and the point of the lessons is to not repeat them, right?
yes,
And that's where a
exactly.
lot of us stay stuck in is these repeat cycles. It's like they keep making the same mistake over and over because they're not learning
Yeah,
from their previous experience.
right.
And when you kind of keep doing that, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's kinda like, okay, I'm gonna go into, when you were dating, I know
Yeah.
when I was dating, you'd always go for the same type of guys, or I always went for the same type of guys, and I knew it didn't work out, but I always went for the same type of guys, until finally I was like, "Wait a minute, what am I doing?" Right? But sometimes you need to say, "Wait a minute, what am I doing?" Or have somebody say, "Look, this isn't working. Don't you see it?" And sometimes you hate that friend for saying that, but, in retrospect, you really, really appreciate it. Or the
hmm
parent that, took you away from all the fun that you were having when you were growing up, right? If, sometimes you're like, oh my God, my mom's always nagging at me for this or that. But, also when you become a parent or when you become older, you're like, oh, now I get it, right? Because they were so worried about you.
hmm
And I think it's really trying to see the other person's perspective. Like, they always say, try to walk in the other person's shoes.
Yeah.
And there is something to that, really, because sometimes we don't even have the capacity to even think that far to walk in that other person's shoe. But sometimes hearing something like this, you'd be like, oh, maybe there is another perspective to the same situation. Because all situations, it isn't just one view. This is your view. This is my view.
Yeah.
But then you're seeing me from a different view. The people that are listening to us see us from a different view. There's so many perspectives out there.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out what is going to serve you the best.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's something a lot of people struggle with, right? Is finding that
And I guess
that
the only way to find it is to try different things. It's like when you're trying on different clothes or trying on different shoes, right? Um, Sometimes the fit isn't right, the size isn't right.
yeah.
The cut doesn't fit your foot, or, and I think it's really, you have to try it on to see if it works for you.
Yeah. And even one of the things that just popped in my head is even like when you want something real bad, right? And you stress over it and all this other stuff. Sometimes that thing you want isn't necessarily what you need, right? Like you're stressing out about all this, and it doesn't work out, right? Because we're not realizing, because at that point in time, we're stressing and worried about it, but it wasn't our time to receive that message or receive whatever it is, because either we weren't ready for it and we're still stressing out over it, and so it just doesn't happen. But when like one thing I've realized that especially this past year is that when you just kind of like don't stress about it and just like let it go and just let things go more naturally and flow more, like one of the things that I consciously decided was to, again, was finding that time for me to build a relationship with God, right? And work on that. And it took me really just focusing and not stressing about it, not like, oh, I need to make this relationship with God work. No, it took me like, you know what, just taking my time, just like little by little working on it. And by me doing that, it kind of opened me up to other things coming. Like it I want to say your blessings were allowed to come in, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I believe in. And someone else might not believe it, but that's what I just believe, that by me opening up more, that and not just stressing about, oh, I need to, this relationship has to be like, if you go on with the if I would have gone on with the mindset that I have to improve my relationship with God, it has to be this, it has, no, I just you know what, it's something that I want, and I'm just gonna let it naturally happen. Let me just speak to him on my terms, and when I feel comfortable, and I didn't put that extra stress like I need to go to church every Sunday. No, it was just, what am I gonna do to, what do I have to do to improve this relationship? What is it on my part
Yeah.
that needs to be done?
Yeah. And I think that all goes back to, um, doing something that's going to work for you, right? Not doing it because somebody else said this is the perfect way to do it. Or sometimes it's like you want to follow guidelines, but you
Mhm.
can't follow every, direction exactly, because it sometimes it doesn't work for you. And I think I read this post, this guy was posting, I spent he said, I spent this large amount of money on a coach, business coach, and figuring that this would work for me. And I was really following everything, but it didn't work for me, he said. And I finally realized why. It's because everything, that that course may have worked for that coach that created that course and a few select people that fit that mold or that are like him. But if you're not like that person, it's not going to be the same. So you have to adapt. Like what we have to learn is like even with diets, right? You have to
Yeah.
adapt to see what's going to work for you. So, when I'm teaching, I always say, use this as a guideline, but you've got to figure out what you like. Because let's say I may love tofu, right? Let's say, for
Hmm.
instance, but other people are like, ew, tofu, right?
That's
So,
nasty. Yeah.
yeah, right, exactly. And I think it's like, that works for me, but it doesn't work for somebody else. Like for somebody else, they may like beef, and beef is, it's fine. It depends on how you cook it, right? Everything is how it's prepared. Um, and I think you have to eat what you're going to like,
Yeah.
because if you're constantly eating stuff that you don't like only because you think they're low calorie or they're better for you, right? You're not going to be able to sustain it.
Nope.
And it's all about being able to sustain something. And I mean, that's putting like extra stress on you. I remember when I did all these diets where like, oh, I could only eat this, and I can't eat that. And I had so many restrictions. And then, so when I restricted myself so much, and my personality, very well, everyone knows this. When you tell me no to something, that's all I'm going to think about.
It's like I want. Yeah. But
Yeah.
who am I to tell myself no? Like,
Yeah.
why
Like,
am I telling? Why am I saying I can't have this ice
yeah.
cream or whatever
Yeah, I'm
it
like,
is?
"Screw this," or like, "Oh, I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna have," and then I go off and I eat like a whole pint of something, right? Because I'm like, "When's the next time I'm gonna be able to have it?"
Yeah.
I mean, I remember those days. It was like it was so serious back then. But then when I think about it, that's because I didn't allow myself the things that I really wanted. And if I
Yeah.
did, I wouldn't crave it so much because it
This is
wouldn't be
true.
the forbidden fruit.
And that's what it is. Is a lot of us look at it as forbidden fruit. Like, oh, why am I denying myself this? No, like what's like? So yeah, no, it's us having to tweak that mindset,
Yeah,
right? To like kind of just
exactly.
tweak it a little
Yeah,
and not be like, listen, yeah, the reason I'm not having this ice cream is because I need to lose that extra 10 whatever it
yeah.
is. Yeah. So yeah.
And if you want a little bit, have a little bit, but just don't eat the whole pint. You don't have to.
Maybe by you just eating that little bit, right? And you're kind of just getting the cravings out. Like just
Yeah,
have that, right? Take a couple of scoops, then put the pint away.
yeah. And
That's it.
they say that scientifically, I'm not sure, I have to check like all the science on this, but they say that you really only taste the first couple bites. And then afterwards, you're not really tasting it.
Oh, that sucks.
I know, but we feel like we're
We're
tasting
tasting
it,
it all the
right?
time, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to experiment with that on something that I really, really like and see if that's really true. But I kind of get that feeling because, like, sometimes I'll go to cake store, right? Because I
Mhm.
I like confectionaries, and there's a favorite cake that I love, right?
Yes.
It's crepe cake, and it's very good, but it's got like whipped cream in it, and like it's very good anyway. So the first couple bites I love and love, but then towards the end, I'm not sure I'm loving it as much.
Mm.
But
I can understand why.
yeah, but maybe it's because, but then if the portion is small enough, I think, I think it might work because then you're like, oh, that was so good. And if you're wanting a little bit more, that's actually a good feeling instead of if you've eaten it so much that, when like you go to Cheesecake Factory and you have that huge slice,
Yeah.
it's almost too much, right?
Mhm.
But we try to finish it because we feel like we have to eat all of it. And you're like, I'm not going to get a chance to eat this again, so I better eat all of it. But then, what if you just cut it in half and had half of it?
Yeah, that'll
You
be a
might
good
just be
start.
satisfied and then have the other half later.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I just thought about that because I always try to finish off whatever I have at the Cheesecake Factory. because you don't get to eat that much, So
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I haven't been to a cheesecake factory in years, but I was just thinking because their portions are like huge. I mean, who eats all of that? I don't know. Well, I used to
I
finish
used to eat
everything.
that. Yeah, I used to so what was it? When I was recently in Florida, we went out a couple of times and almost every night we went out. But by the time we were done, right? By the time we had left Florida, I had like four four different to go containers with half of my food because I can't eat as much as I used to right now.
Right.
And I used to throw down. I used to enjoy my food and eat it all. Now I'm limited on how much I could eat, and so it was like I had four to go containers in there, and I'm like, but it was some delicious food. I just couldn't enjoy it
Yeah.
and just have that extra bite.
Yeah. Because sometimes it is too much, They say that your stomach is only the size of your fist. Yeah. And it expands or not.
Yeah.
But if it expands too much, it's so uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And we forget that. And I remember when I was younger, everyone would say, I would go to a restaurant, I would order so much food, and they go, "You're eating with your eyes again." Because I'd see something, I'm like, "Oh, that looks good, right?" And
Yeah.
I think it was that because I probably did that because I was depriving myself of so much of food anyway,
Yeah.
of the good stuff or things that I wanted.
At least that we thought was the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we thought was the good stuff, right. You're right, yeah. Because I'll bet you if I taste it now, I probably wouldn't like it as much, the stuff that I thought was really good,
Yeah.
because, taste buds change too, right?
They
Yeah,
do.
yeah, and, but I think it boils down to, stress can be created when you deprive yourself of things that you want.
Yeah.
And so I think, allowing and that self care piece, loving yourself. Like, how would you treat your best friend? You know?
Oh, some of us we're and I have this discussion a lot with people, um, especially on Stuck My Mind. We talk to ourselves so bad,
Yeah.
so bad. Some of the things we say to ourselves, we would punch other people in the face for saying it to us,
Yes.
right?
Exactly. Exactly.
We're not advocating violence, but we're just saying that there's just certain things that we say to ourselves that we would not allow other people to say to us. So why is it okay for us to say it to ourselves?
Yeah.
Right? Why is it cool for me to say I suck or not, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it is that this any other negative self talk that we say to ourselves? Like, why do we do this, right? And that's the $1 million question. That's a lot of question everybody has is why? Well, because programming, first of all, it's
Yeah.
like years
Programming.
of programming of people telling you you're not good enough, of people telling you, oh, you're a bad person, or what people
Right.
telling you that whatever it was, whatever the situation was in your life, it's bad programming.
It is. And you can change that.
Hmm.
And so if you do recognize, first step is the awareness piece, to become aware that you're doing this. If you catch yourself saying, "Oh, I'm so stupid," or "That was so stupid of me." I mean, that's something that I say a lot. So I have, I'm conscious of it. So when I say it, I'm like, wait, 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 wait. I'm like, let me take that out, become aware of it. And then instead say, nope, I am actually very smart, or even saying I'm magnificent.
Yeah,
That's my go-to word lately is I'm magnificent. But even if you can't think of anything else, use those words, use something, or I'm amazing, because your brain doesn't know what's true or false. So the more you tell it the negative stuff, it's going to really believe it.
yeah,
So to get rid of that programming, you have to put in something that's going to be more empowering. So even saying I'm magnificent or I'm amazing, you know, um, I know it's kind of embarrassing to say this, but sometimes I look in the mirror and say, "You're so beautiful," because sometimes, I feel like sometimes if I don't say that to myself, my brain is going to start believing the other things.
Yeah. Oh no.
And,
Yeah.
because programming.
Yeah. And listen, because I had a special episode of Stuck in My Mind this morning, and we were and one of she said something and she talked about affirmations, right? Or what was someone I don't know if it was, but anyway, I think it was yesterday's guest, but they talked about affirmations and how, yeah, it's great to have affirmations, but they're not. That's not the solution, right? That's not like affirmations can get you but so far. You have to really put in the work, and you really have to truly start. Like, it's great to say, "Oh, I am whatever it is, whatever the affirmation is that you're saying." But it's another thing to truly believe it.
Yeah.
It's like you could say it as much as to turn blue in the face, but if you truly don't believe it, it's just, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
working.
It's the coherence between the brain and the heart.
Hmm.
And, that's where the work comes in. But I think the first step is affirmations, is an easy step for people to start with. And, and then start really imagining it. How does it really feel? How does it feel to be magnificent? How does it feel to be um, special? What are those feelings? And I think it's really to think and then to start feeling it, to feel it and imagine, even if it's imagine feeling it or remembering a past experience that made you feel really good,
Yeah.
to put those two together, to combine this, the brain and the heart, and have it align. Because that's where you find that real change and transformation.
So I don't know if she's gonna see this, but I got to put this out there. Like, I have someone who supports all my content. She's always sharing. She's always liking, commenting. She's one of the few people that comments on my YouTube channel. And she messaged me she messaged me this morning, asking me how I was doing, how was my family and everything. And I responded. And I asked her how she was doing, and she said she thanked me, but she said what she said was, oh, she didn't understand why I was concerned, or what the thing was. What did she say? She goes, thanks for being kind to me even when I don't deserve it. And my response to her was, well, why don't you deserve it? Like, to me, you deserve it. Like, you're very supportive of me. So to me, it was important to acknowledge, thank you
Yeah,
for the support and everything. How are you doing? What's going on with you? And it that kind of like took me back, right? Because I know how that feels, right?
oh
I
yeah,
know how it feels to be like, I don't deserve anyone's love. I don't. It takes me back to when Denise passed away, and I was kind of hating life and hating everything, and questioning, did I deserve anything good in my life, right? Because that was where I was at.
yeah,
But I was able to overcome it, and so now my goal is to help her overcome it. Like, my thing is to really be supportive of her and
yeah,
uplifting her. So if you do tune into this and listen to this, just be aware that I'm here. If you need someone to talk to, shoot me a message.
yeah,
And that's what I wrote. I told her, listen, I don't know why you don't feel like you deserve it, but if you need to talk, let me know.
yeah.
Let's communicate. Let's work on this, because I don't want anyone to feel that way.
No,
And if I'm able to do something about it, if I'm able to help someone get out of that funk and stop thinking that way, then I'm going to do it.
yep,
And,
yep,
and I'm not doing it because I want the fame no, I'm doing this because I truly do want to help people.
yep.
And it's
I
important to me to be able to help this person overcome whatever it is that they're going through.
yeah,
So if
I
it takes
agree.
me sitting there and listening, whatever it is, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. Yeah. It's so true. Sometimes we don't realize that, you know, and like you said, we want to serve people, we want to help. And and sometimes, sometimes I'm like, "Oh, is this in vain that we're doing this?" You know, sometimes I
Sometimes you question it. Yeah, you
yeah.
question it sometimes.
But then when you have people that say, "No, that your one word or that one phrase that you said really resonated with me, or it stuck in my mind, for the whole week," or whatever, you're like, "Oh, thank goodness that was able to help them," right?
Yeah,
Because hurtful words can stick in a person's mind and hurt them for that whole week.
yeah,
So if you can say something that's going to be kind and to be able to help them for the week to just move forward,
yeah,
that, you feel like you did something good, right? And it's really about helping others, helping your fellow man and woman, you know, and because everyone should be happy
hmm
and to find your own happiness. And no one has, it's sad when I hear that. Yeah, that was sad that you said when you said that, and that people feel that way. And I recently had an experience where somebody said, I say thank you a lot to people, right?
yeah,
And they go, I'm not used to sometimes I don't know how to react when you say thank you because no one said thank you to me
yeah,
for little things. And I'm like, well, I just say them because I appreciate that. And it was kind of sad to me that that person said that.
yeah. No, that hit me. That hit me to the heart when to
Yeah,
read that, right?
yeah,
Because she's like I said, she's been nothing but uber supportive of me. Like I'm talking about one of the very few people that on Facebook leaves a comment or whatever. Like if an episode resonated with her, she's like, "Oh, thank." Like so for her to be like, to me, it was like it was heartbreaking to read it. Like it was like, all right, I need to do something. Like
yeah,
just I'm like right now, even now, while I'm like, I need to do something. There's something I have to do to get her not thinking that way.
yeah, yeah,
Like I need her to realize that your support and your encouragement of me is big to me, and you deserve the kindness that I give to you
yeah,
because you've been nothing but kind and supportive to me.
yeah.
So I give back what people give me.
It's a
So
reflection.
for her to say she doesn't deserve this kind, no, you do, because you've been kind to me.
Yeah. I think that, and what came to mind right now is that, her actions, you're just reflecting her actions.
hmm
And I think it's like that whole, you know, people are a reflection of you. People, the way you're treated by other people most of the time are reflections of yourself.
Yeah,
And I think, sometimes you'll have the random person that's going to be mean to anyone, right?
yeah.
But,
They just can't.
but
Yeah,
yeah, they can't help it because they're just
that's who
miserable.
they are. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's who they are. But most of the time, the way people react to you are a reflection of what you're putting out there.
yeah. And
So,
and can I be a dick? Yes, without a doubt. Like I'm human. I have my days. There's days that I am not a positive person. There's just days that just like there's just people have bad days, man.
yeah,
I'm a
I have
human being.
bad days too.
I'm a human being. I'm not gonna be happy 24/7. Like
Yes.
there's gonna be days that yeah, I feel like shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Like should I take it out on other people? No, not at all. But it happens. It
Oh, yeah.
happens.
Yeah, I do.
But but again, it's life. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna act like I'm this ultra nice person because I'm human. I try to be the best person I can.
Yeah.
I'm not. I try not to be a bad person. I try to be the best person that I can, that I'm capable of being. And so, but again, I'm also human. So,
Yeah. Well, we all have to do the best that we can, right? And
mhm.
hello, I mean, I could be a total mean person, you know? Sometimes, like when I'm on the subway, or, I could be really grumpy and I could be like pissy and or somebody says something nasty to me on the subway, I'll be like really, snarky.
Yeah. You know what's so funny, right? Because when people first, like, when my daughters, when their friends meet me, whatever, when they were younger, they're like, "Oh, why your dad look so mean?" Right? But then when they would get to speak to me, and they were like, "Oh man, he's so cool," da, da, da." And then it's like, because they see that. All right, I don't smile all the time. That's just not who I am. But um, it, it, I- I'm like a big teddy bear. Like, you know what I'm saying? So so people would, they'd be amazed. They'd be like, "Damn, but you don't. Yeah, you seem like a mean person. Like, you have a look like you." And then, but no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm complete opposite of what you might think.
It's Yeah, and that's all boils down to perception too,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, I think it's also to keep an open mind, and also, like we were saying, to have that respect and love for yourself.
Hmm.
Um, Sometimes we do forget to treat ourselves with the love and care that we treat others, that the people that we love.
Yeah.
Like some of the things I used to say to myself, and sometimes I slip and say them, to myself now. Um, I wouldn't allow anyone to say that to my best friend or even to my sister or even to
Hmm.
my dog,
Yeah.
right? I know I care about my dog a little too much, but
Well, listen,
even
that's
still,
your family. Like, I don't.
she's
Yeah.
my
No.
daughter. She's my fur daughter. um, and it's funny because we allow ourselves to treat ourselves poorly. And
Hmm.
I think it's just, just make a conscious effort this month, especially because it's February, month of love and whatever. It may be commercial, but still, you
Yeah.
know, be a little more conscious about how you treat yourself and how much love you give yourself.
Hmm.
And maybe question, would I say this to
To
someone I
myself.
really
Yeah.
love? Yeah.
Yeah. But oh man, this has been a great episode. Our first live episode on Real Wise TV. We will be I guess we're gonna do more live. We're gonna go more live. We're gonna do more lives. This is so much fun, and it saves me not having to go upload it. So,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's why I like lives too.
yeah, no, it saves me not having to upload it, and we've had a good show.
Yes.
We will be launching a Cognitive Cuisine YouTube channel soon. So, but for right now, you catch us on Real Wise TV. But eventually, we will be transitioning to a Cognitive Cuisine YouTube channel. We're really gonna, because this is a good show. I
Yeah,
enjoy doing it. Yeah, you
I do.
enjoy doing it. And so, yeah, we feel like we got something here that's of value to people,
Oh, yeah.
and we're gonna continue to bring the juice and all the everything that we have, and just keep bringing it the best that we can. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to Real Wise TV, please do go check out Yayoi's Bring the Belly YouTube channel.
Yes.
But
I need
it's coming soon,
subscribers.
though. It's coming soon.
And then
I'll
yes,
start on Monday. It's coming
yes,
soon.
yes, yes.
So we will be putting that out soon. I'm excited for her.
Too.
Um, her first guest is a friend of ours, and we're excited. And then her second guest, we're gonna keep it in the wraps, surprise.
Yes, yes.
But thank you for tuning in, everybody who catches it live, or if you catch the replay, though doesn't matter. We're still the same.
Thank
So
you.
thank you, appreciate the support, and you know how your boy Wise does it. Peace out.
Yes, this is Yayoi and peace out.
Oh yeah, enjoy the new outro as well.